Shelter in New York City. A new bus with some 41 asylum seekers arrived at the Port Authority bus terminal this morning. Another bus expected today. The migrants sent here by Texas Governor Greg Abbott as the U.S. lifts a COVID-era restriction on migrants next week. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu with more.
Once the migrants were processed here at the Port Authority, they boarded MTA buses and headed to shelter intake. And because the majority of the people on the bus this morning were families, they will likely be staying at one of the 120 hotels that are now emergency shelters. A familiar sight at the Port Authority. One by one, asylum seekers walked off a bus, completing their days-long journey from Texas.
The state of Texas Governor Abbott does not coordinate with us, so we do not know who is on these buses and what conditions they're in.
This is the first bus to arrive since Texas Governor Greg Abbott resumed sending migrants to sanctuary cities, a persistent political move, according to Mayor Eric Adams, and one that is targeting black-run cities.
I cannot ignore the fact that Governor Abbott sent migrants only to cities with their black mayors and is undermining our cities.
Abbott's office maintains that the asylum seekers chose to come to New York City, but city officials say the people boarding the buses aren't given much of a choice.
They're just told that they're being transported to a place where they can receive help, and so then they bring them here to New York.
Despite the tension, the two sides do have one thing in common: their need for urgent federal help, especially as states brace for even greater numbers once Title 42 is lifted next week. For New York City, federal aid has been hard to come by, and the repeated appeals for the Biden administration to speed up the work permit process has been met with silence.
Without those work permits, it's really difficult for them because then they have to depend entirely on the city for shelter and services and possibly work in the informal economy.
Meanwhile, President Biden has authorized the deployment of 1,500 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border ahead of the anticipated surge in migrants once Title 42 expires next week.